Oh no, he's not picking on one of the pioneers of survival horror, is he? Of course he's going to get stuff wrong. It's one of the first 3D games created in the early year of 1992. No, I'm not going to criticize the graphics or the controls, because I understand this game was trying to figure it all out. Besides, combat in this game isn't even that hard, so it doesn't irritate me like Resident Evil does. But I am going to criticize Alone in the Dark, because it's a game that hates the player. I guess Alone in the Dark is a lot like the old Sierra Adventure games in its design. If you don't get this item or trigger this thing and saved, you have to do the whole game all over again or reload an older save. And while I could complain about the Sierra games for that reason, they already have that brutal reputation behind them, and so there's no point. At least Alone in the Dark is short, so that it isn't that bad playing through the majority of the game all over again. But I played through the Alone in the Dark's beginning 3 times because of screw-ups. And the worst part is I didn't know that I screwed up when I did. The first time I had to restart the game was because while walking across a room, I touched a ghost. This ghost proceeded to turn into a tornado that kills you in one hit. So I ran away from it and went down the stairs to the ground floor, and it stopped chasing me. Glad that was over, I proceeded to explore this floor, and when done, I went back up the stairs, only to find that the tornado was still up and chasing me. No matter what you do, it never dies, and there's no way to explore the floor with it chasing you since it moves faster than you, so I had to reset and make sure to never make ghosts turn into tornadoes. What the designers were trying to do was make an enemy that would kill you immediately so that you have to load a previous save, but they didn't realize that going to another floor would cause it to not be able to kill you. So the designers made a mistake and unfortunately made the game unwinnable. But at least in that case, making the game unwinnable seems to be by mistake. Because later in the game, you can make the game unwinnable by the developer's design. Yeah. When you go into the final section of the game, if you happen to miss a special key, a talisman, or the lighter, you can't win the game, because the bridge going into the final area collapsed. But finding everything becomes supremely difficult when there's cryptic things you have to do all over the place. You have to shoot an arrow at a painting so you can get to a room where you push a random clock out of the way to find an alcove behind it, a fake book, which you then use in a large library or an empty book slot to get a secret password to appear while the purple enemy chases you around the bookshelves. Another part of the game has you throw a statue at a knight so you can get its sword, and then that's the only weapon that you can kill some pirate in that's in one of the rooms. And then to end the game, you have to throw your lantern at the tree, which, yeah, it makes sense in the logic, burn a tree to destroy it. But before now, your lantern was really a useful tool for seeing in the dark, and it's not like you ever used the lantern for anything else, so it's hard to imagine having another use for it since it's already useful. Plus, the tree was just shooting fire at you. Basically, what I'm trying to express is that the game is really hard to even play. Everything is so cryptic, and you can screw yourself over. I guess to its consolation, it isn't all that long, so it's not torturous, and it does have a certain old game charm to it, which is hard to describe. It's just this strange sensation I get when I fire up an old game sitting in the dark and not knowing what I'm going to get. It's the same feeling I get when I started up the Journeyman project, but that game was able to follow up its premise with an interesting premise and cool atmosphere. But Alone in the Dark just feels old and awkward.